Good evening. I don't see anybody here tonight to do the invocation, so I think we ask everybody to rise and Chief Ron.
We need a roll call vote to start the meeting.
Let's start over. Good evening. Can we have a roll call, please? Natasha?
Orzen? Here. Schrolik?
Here.
Hoag?
Here.
Von Bretthorst? Here. Pinsky?
Here.
Okay. Now, at this time, we'd like to have everybody rise for the invocation, or for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, do we have any committee reports?
Are we committee or commission for zoning? You
Planning and zoning finalized the last decisions for different sections of commercial zoning.
So all the areas that were just zoned C, we were able to get together and identify where we thought were good placement of designating it with a 1, 2, or a 3. So that will be presented to planning and zoning on Monday.
I have library stuff. For February, they had 4,222 books taken out, 3,438 patrons, 352 new books, 8 new city cards, 3 rural cards, 37 renewals. Their Libby books, which is their audio and their back and forth sharing, is their back and forth sharing is 466. And then they had 548 audiobooks. And they used the back room 26 out of 28 days. And they had 43 and a half volunteer hours. They were super busy.
Yeah.
Still doing lots of stuff for all the groups of Weiser, so you should go to the library.
Thank you for that report. Any other committee reports? If not, how about board and commission reports? We're short on reports tonight. Okay, if that's, if everybody's done with the committee and commission reports, at this time, the first item on our agenda.
I'll do the monthly reports.
Okay, at this time, let's do the monthly report.
Sorry.
I keep jumping the other way.
City of Weiser department reports for February 2026. The City of Weiser has 49 full-time employees with 5 part-time. The Weiser Police Department had 23 adult arrests, 18 of those being misdemeanor and 5 felony. There were 2 juvenile arrests, with those being misdemeanor. There were 34 citations, 11 misdemeanor, and 23 infractions. There was 371 calls for service, with case reports being at 149, felony 5, misdemeanor 20, accident 5. The City of Weiser Animal Control had 17 dog complaints, 8 impounded, 8 returned to owner. There was 1 cat complaint. We have ran out of funding for the feral cat TNR program, and so until we get new funding, we won't be able to do that anymore. We are working on funding for another grant. And there was also 2 livestock. The City of Weiser ordinance complaints. There were 1 abandoned vehicle, 2 parking, 2 camper occupancy, 16 VIN inspection, and 1 storage container. The wastewater treatment department, February flow for 2025 was 33,490,000. The February flow for 2026 was 24,730,000, with the February daily average flow of 920,000. The wastewater department started removing leaking tanks in the chlorine room and preparing for new ones. They replaced 9 broken beams in the grit channel. They fixed broken sewer tap on East 1st Street alley and hauled 7 loads of biosolids to the drying beds. The water department water production for February of 2025 was 11,195,000. February of 2026 was 11,912,000. The water department continued annual water plant maintenance. They repaired sludge scraping system flock bed. Sent 2 operators to emerging contaminant class and did quarterly dead end flushing. The electric department power consumption for January of 2025 was 5,843,186 kilowatts. January for 2026 was 5,801,216 kilowatts. The electric department continued with clearing trees from the high voltage lines, started annual hot stick and grounds testing. TNR hauled a truckload of old broken transformers to be sold or repaired. They also worked with the streets, changing out the old crosswalk signs on the Highway 95 and relocated a house service on 509 East Hanthorne. The street department ran the sweeper for 8 days, finished sidewalk at the pole yard, installed ribbon curbing and catch basin on Paddock. They installed flashing red lights on Indian Head and 7th, 7th and Pioneer, and 7th and Main. Repaired and painted picnic tables for the parks, and they did open the bathrooms at City Park. The recreation department, women's volleyball had a good season with 5 teams. Co-ed volleyball starts March 10th with 6 teams. Registration for spring soccer is done and we are looking for coaches. They started prepping the soccer field as well. They are currently taking registration for youth baseball and softball. And the high school baseball coaches and players are putting on a clinic this year. The clinic will start April 10th. The building department, Dave issued 2 building permits this month, 1 residential garage and 1 dwelling alteration and addition. Dave did 18 inspections and 5 consults. Mayor and City Council, that concludes your department reports for February of 2026.
Okay, thank you, Natasha. And I believe the rec department reported that they have like a record amount of kids out for soccer this year, so that's great that we have the kids out, and hopefully we find the coaches and keep them busy. Okay, at this time, State of Idaho Code states that when we have a vacancy in the city council, that the mayor is to appoint a person to fulfill the existing term of councilman along with the committee assignments.
We need to do the minutes in the bill.
Oh. See, I don't have a complete.
He's trying to work through this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to work. There we go.
I'm trying to get
So at this time, we need to, we need to look at the minutes. Everybody's had a chance in their packet to review the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any further discussion? If not, take a roll call, please.
Pinsky?
Me.
Horzen?
Yes.
Schrolik?
Yes.
Von Brethorst?
Yes.
Hoag?
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries. Have we had a chance to review the bills, the paid and unpaid bills?
We have, Mayor, and I move that the bills as presented be paid and authorized the mayor sign.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Everybody understand the motion? Any further discussion?
Roll call vote. Schrolik?
Yes.
Von Brethorst?
Yes.
Hoag?
Yes.
Pinsky?
Yes.
Horzen?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, now at this time,
You got it.
get the horse back in front of the cart. As I was stating earlier, by the State of Idaho Code, the mayor is to appoint a person from the Weiser area, or from the city of Weiser, to fulfill the vacant term that was vacated last month, along with the committee assignments. And I'm very pleased to announce that I'm appointing Joseph Bond for that position.
You need to open it up to the council for discussion.
Yeah, and any discussion
Or a motion.
or motion?
Mayor, I move to confirm your appointment of Joseph Vaughn for the city council position.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. At this point, is there any further debate or discussion? Okay, can I go for the roll call?
Bretwurst,
Yes.
Pinsky,
Yes.
Froelich,
Yes.
Corson,
Yes.
Poe.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. I'd like to welcome Joe to come up.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and swear you in, so if you just want to repeat after me. I, Joe Vaughn,
I, Joe Vaughn,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Idaho,
of the State of Idaho,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of City Council
the duties of City Council
of the City of Weiser
of the City of Weiser
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. And if you want to take your seat on council.
Is it this time it'd be proper to say, are you sure?
Signed.
He's stuck.
Here's your seat. Okay, at this time, item number 2 is a LTAC presentation to Jacob Mallory for completing the Rhodes Scholar Program.
Hi, my name is Lisa Popoff with LTAC. Thank you for allowing me to be here today to present this award. Just a little bit about the award before I give it out. So our program is comprised of 2 levels. We do classes every spring and fall throughout the state. The classes we offer cover a wide variety of topics, including safety, professional development, and the largest portion being construction and maintenance techniques. Most of these courses have an exam of 80% to pass the class. So 2 levels to our program right now. Rhodes Scholar, which is what we're here to do the award for today. It included 80 hours of instruction, 7 core classes, 4 electives, and each student had 4 years to complete that level. So then building upon the Rhodes Scholar, we have the Road Master, which is another host of classes, 4 core classes and 5 electives. A student has 5 years to complete, or 4 years, sorry, to complete that level. So without further ado, we will hand out the awards to Jacob. Congratulations on achieving the Rhodes Scholar. Here is your measurement tool, and here is your hat.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yep, I just tried to snap one on my phone as you guys are.
I don't need to be in it.
Oh. Oh. I thought you were saying if you don't mind, like you wanted me to take
No, I
one.
don't need to be in it. Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
Okay, at this time, Republic Services has been kind enough to come over and talk to us about trying to regenerate our recycling program here in Weiser, and they're pretty excited, I think, about trying to get something going with it. So.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. And this is, I'm Rochelle Kleinman from Public Services, and I manage municipal contracting and services. And this is Emil. And
Emil, I'm the operations manager for the recycling center down in Boise, as well as the Temple Bell in Nampa and composting as well.
yes, so thank you for having us here. I want to start by saying we're sorry we didn't know you were using the Fruit One site, that many of you were using that. So when we closed it, Mayor Hahn found us and said, what happened to the site? So we're looking at options. And I don't know if any of you have used that site or if you've been up to council and seen that site up there, but it's pretty neat. And so we put together a presentation of just some options to bring recycling to your community if you so choose. So first slide, please. So I guess just like, I get the question asked all the time, does recycling make sense? I think that's like the 101. And the answer is yes. I mean, I still think it does. So we have one finite set of resources, and we pull out whether it's oil to make plastics, or we pull out stuff from the earth and we make materials, and then it just makes sense to keep reusing those. And some of our farmers are our best recyclers. I think my grandparents and parents probably started us on recycling before we even knew it was a term. So you probably see a lot of that here locally too. In lots of parts of the country, recycling and landfilling cost about the same. In urban areas. In Idaho, it's a little trickier because we have really affordable landfill disposal, and we're really spread out. So everything in our world is how many tons do you have to carry, how many miles, probably the same as your world. So you're a little farther from a recycling center, and landfill disposal is pretty inexpensive. So you have to be really mindful on how you manage costs on a recycling program as you probably know. Okay, next slide. Recycling journey. So basically the important part on the city side is collecting it and then getting it to a recycling center. So on our side, I'm more on the hauling side, and then once it gets to a meal, the sorting takes over. We would like for any of you are interested to come to the recycling center in Boise. I don't know if the mayor told you about his experience, but I call it like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, but Emil could probably explain what happens. Like if you choose to collect stuff mixed together, you can say what happens after that.
Yeah, no, so it depends. We definitely have a few options, but we want to do everything together. We, like the mayor, he saw our system. So, last March we just invested, a little like $5.5 million, into updating and upgrading that system, processing it. We're processing anywhere from 20-25 tons per hour. We're going through, our residual is actually some of the lowest in the country. We're actually looking around 12% right now residual. Other cities like in Texas, we're looking at 30%. Nevada, we're looking at 48%. So we're actually looking very, very low at actually being able to save a lot of that recyclables going with a lot of the plastics. We're actually sending them down to our polymer centers. And from when we receive a water bottle, at our center to getting it recycled and back on the shelves, we're looking at about anywhere from 60 to 90 days. It's already back on the shelves. Either water, Coke, anything like that.
And his system is so impressive. So it separates out, like there are screen sorters and optical sorters and magnets and eddy currents, and he's just got all kinds of stuff that's going on. And so your jumbled up stuff gets all sorted back out, and then it gets put in piles, and then they bale it and then ship it off to markets. So there's the sorting and processing, and then as Emil said, it's really fast between the bottle that you throw into the recycling bin and getting it back on the shelf. And plastics are 1s, 2s, and 5s. So if you look at the bottom of a plastic, the 5s are the dairy tubs, and then 1s and 2s are like the bottles and jugs you see most things in, like milks and detergents and stuff like that. Okay, next slide, please. So here's just kind of a list at a high level of what can be recycled. And it's interesting, so I've been doing this over 20 years. We were recycling 25 pounds on average to 30 pounds per household per month. That at that point in time, and we're still only recycling that today, which sounds like not very impressive, like we're not getting better. But in reality, it's a huge improvement because we lost all these materials over the years, like newspapers and magazines, and like a lot of junk mail is gone, and also lightweighting materials like water bottles used to be like kind of heavy duty, and now when you open them, they kind of spill on you. They're so thin, and so with lightweighting of materials, and even aluminum cans are thinner. So to still maintain that kind of high level on average per household per month is pretty impressive. I think that people are still committed to doing that. And on the mixed paper, it's basically if you can tear it, it can go in mixed paper, with the exception of waxy cartons, like cartons like that. But, okay, next slide. And just super simple tips in our program. Just understand what can go in the recycling bins, and then make sure it's empty. Like if you have half a lasagna in your number 5, please just wipe it out so it doesn't wind up at Emil's
Yeah.
facility.
Exactly.
All the people, all the workers have all lasagna in their hands. And then most importantly, don't bag it. So everything has to be loose across the board. We don't have bag rippers, or it's considered dangerous for them to rip open unknown. We actually see like a lot of hypodermic needles and stuff. Like if people put trash in there, we see all kinds of stuff there.
Yeah, I know it's, we call it wish recycling. You put it into a trash bag and it's all full of recyclables, but when it's coming through the line, the sorter, we don't know what's inside of it, so we tell them not to open it. There's been a lot of incidents in the past where someone opens it up and it's full of needles, it has knives, it has something on it, on the safety of it. It's better in your totes, just throw it in loose. We'll be able to capture, 99.9% of it, just with the OCC screens that we have, the opticals, the magnets that we're using the whole system as a whole. The looser it is, the cleaner it is, the better.
It goes across the line. Okay, next slide, please. Here are things we see commonly that get recycled that shouldn't be in there. For some reason, people still throw diapers in pretty regularly, which is kind of crazy.
Unfortunately.
And also, we always get questions about like pizza boxes. What about the grease? And I always say if it's smaller than your fist, you can recycle it. But if it's bigger, the grease stain is bigger than that, just throw it away. But these are kind of the more common contaminants we see at the facility. So, and we always say when in doubt, just throw it out. So, next slide, please. So how would things work in like Weiser? Like what could you guys do here, for example? And so it looks like I was noodling the numbers, like how could this make sense? Number one, like I don't know if you guys pay your own disposal or if it's assessed on your county taxes. Do you guys pay like landfill fees as a city, or is it just
It's on tax.
it's on your taxes? So it wouldn't really impact you a ton just on the financial side. A lot of cities have to pay their disposal directly, so pulling it out saves some money. But if you're already on your taxes, that's not really something you to worry about. But here's some pictures of like there's an 8-yard green dumpster and then some large industrial containers with holes cut in the side. We have in Meridian a recycling center. And some of these pictures are from that recycling center, so you can see like this family sorting their cardboard and putting it in the bins. And the middle one is plastic, and the one on the end we opened it up, and that was all aluminum cans. That works really well for materials that take a while to fill the bin up, like tin and aluminum cans and stuff. Those take a while to fill up a big container. What we would recommend is doing like 10 8-yard containers for cardboard only. Because that way we could send like an empty truck to just dump all that cardboard into the truck and fill it all the way. So you're not just coming up for like 30 yards of loose cardboard, because then there's this long haul and you don't really have a lot of weight on it. So it would be probably best for a hybrid. And the 8 yards, we have a model like that up in Idaho City we're for trash, but we have 40 8 yards, and people from all around Boise County bring their trash in, and they just call us when they're full, and we send an empty truck up and we just dump them all one after another. The problem is it takes space, and so sometimes cities don't have space to like stand up a recycling area. It's always good if it is covered or somewhere out of the way from the elements. If it's snowy or really wet, a lot of times people won't want to drive in there and risk getting stuck or getting wet and messy. So I just put down the rent for like an 8-yard container, and then the rent for the big roll-off boxes per month. And one of the ways we have handled it, structured in the past, a couple of different ways. One is we apply like the revenue from the sale of the material against the cost of the haul. Like let's say a haul is $350 to send a truck up to get it, but you make $180 in aluminum or whatever, then we can apply that toward the revenue, toward the cost of the haul to offset the cost of the program. So there are just some different ways to do it. Or we might have a baler you can use at our Homedale site. We have a small, it's kind of cumbersome, it's a hand baler, but it makes good bales, right?
Yeah, it makes great bales, very easy to use if anybody needs to.
You can just have it.
Yeah, we have a couple. We have the one in Fruitland as well that runs. But tutorial on how to do it, I could always show somebody how to do it. I've been working with them for years now. They're very, very, very simple.
Very simple, and that I think the one in Homedale needs a cylinder, but it would be pretty easy to get up and going. You just wouldn't want the public operating it, but if you had someone in the city that could operate it, and that would be good for like plastics, because plastics are just so fluffy and barely any weight to them. But in a baler, you could probably get like 300 or 400 pounds in a bale.
Maybe
less.
about like a 500-600
So if you put them together, so, they take power though, so that's the only thing. So there are lots of things to think about, but we're here to help you guys if you want to, give it a try, or if you think you have interest. I mean, ideally, if you think you get enough households, we'd send a truck up just to pick them up from everyone's houses and just dump carts, like we do throughout the Treasure Valley. So, and that's always an option too. So, we probably need a minimum like of at least 100 households though to send a car, like a truck up to dump carts.
So we wouldn't actually have to start out with a baler then?
No.
We could start out with the
With the
balers, so
containers.
Yeah.
and-
And you could start out with just cardboard and see if there's interest and say, okay, we're just gonna do cardboard. We're just gonna do cardboard and tin and aluminum and like keep it really simple and see if people use it and then kind of build on it if you find that people are using it. So,
And I have gotten a lot of phone calls from the community, just, wondering,
oh yeah, I forgot to say that.
I'm getting like about 2 to 5 calls a day as like, where can I recycle, where can I send everything off? So a lot of it kind of sending them off to the site down in Nampa, having my supervisor be on standby just for anybody coming through, which is the same process that we had down in Fruitland. But yeah, I mean, usually start off with some containers, like you said, cardboard. I mean, that's the easiest and biggest commodity kind of coming through.
And you could also have us recycle things that you can't recycle locally. Like I think North American Metals might be somewhere not too far from here. And you could always take like, the city could take cans there, for example, and self-haul there. And then that would, if that's easier for you guys to do that. And then we could take things like cardboard or mixed paper or plastic or things that are harder to recycle. If you don't have a metal recycler, it goes with it. So I think, okay, let's do what's next. I can't remember. There's one more. Oh yeah, we get this question all the time. Where does this stuff go, right? So sometimes there was a period of time when China shut down. So China was the biggest buyer, and then they shut down, and then there were all these ships with materials, and they didn't have anywhere to go, and all these markets opened up that were smaller, but together didn't equal China, which was probably a good thing. So then we started seeing new markets like domestically open up, and so like for the most part, these are our most common places where once we have baled materials, we send them. So you can see there the plastics coming out of here go to our Las Vegas Polymer Center. We waited for domestic markets to emerge, where Public Services did, and finally we're like, we're the domestic market. We're like the second largest hauler in the country, so we better get on it. So we started opening facilities and processing, getting things ready to go back to market, particularly with plastics, because that was the hardest to solve for. So we take a lot of pride in almost all of our materials stay here in North America. Some go up to Canada, but for the most part, we don't ship anything overseas. So, okay, next slide. Did you want to add anything to that, Emil?
Yeah, no, I mean, you pretty much just said it. Everything stays here locally. For the most part, everything right here in the Northwest, we just deal with the local suppliers around here. So which is great, keep it within the community, keeping it local, keeping it within the states.
Let's see. Oh yeah, so, and then, like, these are just questions where you're ready to go or make a decision. If I could just some of the things like, we can help you, like, make sure everything is really clearly labeled. For those of you who've seen it, gone up to council, did you make it up there? It's pretty
several
neat.
times.
Yeah, it's got like, it's really clearly, everything's clearly labeled. And it's kind of funny, we saw like when I started doing this a long time ago, we had like a restaurant, for example, start recycling, and the owner of it, it's called the Cottonwood Grill. I don't know if any of you there down by downtown Boise. And the owner really wasn't that crazy about recycling, but he had some students that were at BSU who wanted to. And then he said, wow, there are all these like unintended benefits. Like pretty soon the kids were recycling a lot, and they added glass recycling, and then they threw away fewer forks and broke fewer pieces of stemware and started flipping the menus over and putting on the backside. He's like, it caught on, and so then he said it became cultural, and it was really fun to see. So it's like, it's once you get going, it's pretty, if you make sure everyone knows what they're doing, it takes off really well. So anyway, like set it up clearly labeled, make sure everyone in the community knows how to do it so there's no confusion. Make sure if any of you or any other responsible people at the city, like, or some dedicated recycling gurus go by, just to peek in and make sure there's not like a tire in the plastics, or just make sure if there's contamination, we pull it out. And then make sure someone would call when the containers are full, and then say, hey, we need to be hauled, and then we could send a truck up. And then just start measuring like how much you're diverting. That's always good to have a measuring stick and know what your, I guess, success rate is. So, did you guys have any questions for us?
Yeah, a couple, so
Okay.
just let me make sure I understand how this works. And stop me whenever I get off track here. So we set up a place for people to put recycling, and you provide us with a container to put that in. And in the case of the cardboard, if we started with the cardboard, then we pay $10 a month for the rental of that container.
Is that each of those 8 containers?
Yeah, each one is like $16 or $17 to rent for a month. Yeah.
Okay, then you, when our bin is full, we call you and you come up and in this case, take the cardboard and sell it, and that charges about $350. Is that?
Yeah, I don't run the numbers. I was
Or
asking him the other way.
somewhere, $300 or $400.
Yeah, like let's say around 350. Let's say. Yeah.
Okay. And then you recycle the cardboard, however you do that.
Yeah.
And that you give us credit for the material itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a net. And how is I guess, what we get for we'll just keep it simple and do it. So we say, okay, our cardboard deal's full, come and
Yeah.
get it. And you come and get our cardboard, and how is what our credit is, how is that determined?
It's all by weight. Recycling is all by weight, and the markets fluctuate like anything. So right now, let's say it's at $40 a ton. It's low. It's like
It's $40, it just went up 5.
so $45 a ton. And so let's say out of the $350, I mean for the haul, you'll probably get $70 in cardboard, unless the market goes up, and then you wind up getting more. But yes, and then that just is applied against your haul. The one thing that I didn't put in here, because you guys haul your own trash, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could get your own bins and use your own trucks and just run them to us when you're full too. Like do you have front load trucks? No. You could probably do rear load containers too and just dump.
No, we're on the side.
Oh, what about for commercial services?
300-gallon round cans.
300 gallon, okay.
So like a yard and a half each one.
Oh yeah, you probably could even do 300 gallon barrels for cardboard and just do a side load into a truck, and when it's full, run it to a meal. You could even avoid us, and if you have like order green or order, I don't know what colors they all come in, but you could even do it in 300 gallons and just avoid any cost with us and just bring us the material when it's full and just know we're there. You could do it, you can collect commingled like that too. The commingled it's more expensive to run across the line for sorting, of course. Like if it's separated, it just goes straight to the baler and get baled and then aggregated with other bales and then shipped to the market. If it has to go across the sort line, let's say it's $90 a ton to go through all the sorting, or $100 a ton, and then you get like $60 back per ton for your, I forget what the breakdown is, it's like 50% cardboard and then mixed paper. I don't remember the exact breakdown, but each component has its own revenue, and then you roll that up and apply it against the $100 a ton. So let's say you get like $50 a ton back. So then it would still cost you $50 a ton. But that way, on a truck you might have 2 tons or, not all that much. So maybe it's $100 to bring all the recyclables down plus. But if you have your own truck and your own containers, it's something that you guys wouldn't even need us for that part. Just so you know we're out there. I mean, what are your thoughts?
So you're in for any portion of that process
Oh, yeah.
that we want to do ourselves.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So one other question, so you say the market for cardboard now is $40. How is that market established? What causes it to go up and down?
There's a whole, yeah.
So it kind of depends on the mills and kind of like the needs of the mills right now. So right now we're kind of coming out of the holiday season, so there's a huge amount of cardboard OCC kind of coming in. So there's really like a huge need for it. Right now we're getting into the spring, into the summer. The market's usually when it starts going back up, and it kind of peaks out up until give or take September, October, and then the holidays are coming up, and then, with Amazon and all the shipments kind of coming through, there's a whole lot more cardboard coming in, along with, aluminum, tin, things like that, just because of the time of the year. So kind of like the mills kind of market that. We get an average of, on our market, we get our market at the beginning of the month, like that first 5-7 days, and, so we can kind of share a little bit as to like where we're at.
Yeah, we have like Pocatello calls us, I think it publishes like the 3rd of the month, and by like 5th, and by 10 a.m. on the 5th, they're like, what's the market for this? So Pocatello calls us all the time for pricing, and sometimes they'll hold their bales, and they'll say, we're gonna hold on to them until we see the market spike a little bit, and then they'll send us like several truckloads all at once, and but there's a whole pulp and paper industry, and so it's like, it's a whole industry with market pricing that comes out monthly. So Emil's team follows that, and then cities will call us and say, what is it this month, or and so he's right.
So
Like
you're the ones with the contacts to actually process the
mills.
material.
Yeah.
So we'll process it out to the mills. Like Rochelle said, either single stream where everything you just kind of put all into one container. It is a little bit more expensive because we do have to run it through our whole system and separate everything out, includes labor, the machines, keeping everything running. But if you could have the community kind of buy in, which it seems like you do, as I mentioned, I'm getting 2 to 5 phone calls per day of different numbers, different people asking me like where can they go, and it's all very, very clean material. I check in with my supervisor in Nampa constantly, and he's telling me like, no, this is all, I got 10 pounds of just pure cardboard today with another 10 of aluminum and everything. So it's there's a huge buy-in in the community.
Aluminum's like $1,800 a ton though. So like if you wind up getting like your a bunch of bins of aluminum, then all of a sudden that you get a real boost in your program. But a lot of people will say, well, why should we give you our aluminum? I'm like, you don't have to take it in and get, but it seems like you have all these bags of aluminum and you get like $3. So it seems like it's better at the city level where you just like add it to everyone else's, and then it can help offset the program costs. But it's, we're happy at any step of that process to help you guys get going again and get recycling. And what we found is once you have a really robust program, it's hard to unravel it. Like we've had different mayors over the years say, well, we want to try to save, $4 a household and get rid of recycling. And people like really, it's hard to throw those things back in the trash once you've not been throwing them in the trash. It's hard to just like put it in there, unless you're my children, and then they have no problem putting it in the trash. But,
Very
yes, no problem there. But for the most adults have a problem with it. So.
Well, thank you. Definitely thank you for coming over. I would like to possibly suggest to the council that we try to put together maybe a public committee to get with these people and try and get our program going, if that's the direction the council would like to go.
And if you'd like a field trip, I mean, it's
100%.
Worthwhile, right? Didn't you think it was interesting to see it?
It would be worthwhile to go over and see their facility.
You just want to
Even the council facility.
The council facility.
Mike Paradis, who's no longer a commissioner, was there when they bought the baler that they have now, and it was about $80,000 back then. But they have a really slick operation. They bale everything from the plastic, the aluminum, the cardboard, and
they call us when they have enough bales. They'll say, we've got the bales, and we go send a truck up and get all their bales mixed. Like we'll have 2 plastic and 3 aluminum and a bunch of cardboard. Like we just pick up whatever bales they have and take a full truck back down, and then they get the revenue from that. Yeah, so that's right. You remember his name? Yeah, he was. I remember when they bought that. It's a nice baler.
Yeah,
They've
very
used
nice.
it, and it's if you have a chance to go to council, it's worth seeing that facility too. Yeah.
And if you want to come down to Boise and check out the MRF and everything we have over there, more than welcome to show you around, actually get you onto the system and kind of explain the whole science and the process of it's actually really neat. And we have some more upgrades coming in the following months. We're still investing more into it. We have another almost like $600,000 we're investing in the next like 3 or 4 months into our system and upgrading it. So this isn't something where we're just keeping it at a basic level. We're constantly upgrading it.
so where this isn't a public hearing, we're actually not able to take questions.
Oh, I was gonna say, so we have any questions?
But I don't think it would be out of line if people wanted to meet you outside and ask you further questions. trying to tell anybody they have to leave, but
Okay.
I know we have a bunch of champion recyclers
Oh,
sitting
okay.
here that would love to talk to you more.
You're gonna get ambushed.
We're ready for it, we're
Love
passionate
it.
about it, so,
Yeah.
well, thank you for having us,
Thank you.
and,
Thank
you
you.
know how to get hold of us, and
Yeah.
if you have any more questions, so,
Right.
thank
Well, you'll be
you.
hearing from us, I'm sure.
Okay,
No,
perfect,
looking forward
thanks,
to it.
Thank
thanks you guys.
Yeah. Okay. I guess they're serious about meeting outside. Well, that was very good for them to come over and present to us, and we do have quite a bit of interest in recycling, so we'll see if we can put together a committee and get something going. Next on our agenda is Serve Day presentation.
So it's Serve Day / America 250. So America 250 is gonna go ahead and step up first, and then we'll hear from Jeremy with the Serve Day.
Okay. Swag.
Oh, okay.
And then, this is last minute, but I emailed you a little 2-minute presentation.
I don't have sound.
Okay, no problem.
Yep.
It would have been important to sound. Okay, hi, thank you, council members and mayor for letting me come and talk about a few things with you this evening. My name is Nikki Dale, and I am an America 250 Idaho ambassador. I help to spread the word about America 250 in Idaho. So what that is, we all know that this is the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There's tons of stuff going on nationally, and each state is taking on something. One of the major things that Idaho is doing this year is in January, both of our state legislators, both houses of the state legislature, unanimously passed Resolution 22, and that designated the year 2026 a bold year of volunteerism. It was a really fun day to be at the Capitol, and what that is Idaho set a goal of 250,000 acts of service to be recorded in Idaho from January until July 4th. That's the goal. As of earlier today, we were at 95,000 acts of service that have been logged on idahokindness.com. That's the website. I was excited to hear that your library kept track of its volunteer hours. That could go on the website. And like I said, idahokindness.com, it has just a little portal on there that you can be anonymous by putting kind neighbor instead of Nikki Dale in there, and then you just throw in an email and your town, and if it's one person volunteering, you put 1. If it's 5 people, you put 5, or you can also log hours if you'd like. It doesn't matter, either way, it's the same spot. And then you just put a little blurb of what it was. We have seen some really fun things come through. People giving blood. At Valentine's Day, there were lots of cards being made by kids and given to neighbors and people in nursing homes and things like that. There have been some really fun ag ones, like someone helping hold a pig with a prolapsed uterus while the vet did the stuff and the kids were in helping with the family's children. And so just really fun things that you see come through and you never know what it is. So you can go on that website. They have a gallery of pictures that people have submitted and said, yes, go ahead and share these. And then they also just started kind of a success story. So just little spotlights on like some of these things that I'm telling you. They have written up some little things about what's going on, so that, because the pictures are cool, but sometimes you can't quite understand what that is. So it's nice that they have some write-ups too. And so that's that part. There are actually tons of things going on with America 250 in Idaho besides this volunteerism part. If you just go on, let's see here, america250.idaho.gov, it tells you all kinds of things. I noticed Cambridge has some events on there, and they kind of go around the America 250 theme. One is there's a challenge, and I can't remember if it's 25,000 or 2,500. But they're trying to get their local community to do a certain amount of service projects too, plus a walk, which I thought was cool. Also, Fruitland has one on there. And then I did see in Living in the News that Washington County has done a quilt thing with other Washington counties around the country. So that's fun too. So those are just a couple little things on there. So there's things for everybody on America 250 website. And then that brings me to another point. I also am a volunteer with Just Serve. And Just Serve is collaborating with America 250 and this IdahoKindness.com because we are a website that helps to connect nonprofit organizations who need volunteers with people in communities who want to volunteer. Because we know lots of people, we all want to volunteer, but sometimes it's really hard to find, well, where do I go? It's just kind of hard to find. Our wonderful nonprofits are usually, working really hard, they've got their head down, they don't have time to advertise that they need volunteers. So this is a free platform, it's global, it's in 17 countries all over the United States. There's 1 million users at this point. And it's all run by volunteers. I'm one of them that helps with that. It's free to make the account for volunteers or organizations. And an organization can say like Red Cross. If they had some needs, which they do, they are on Just Serve, they go on there, they post the project, they can put on there how many volunteers they need and the dates. And me as a volunteer can go on there and it'll take me to their website and then I can volunteer on their website. You can also volunteer on the Just Serve website, but bigger organizations like that already have their own platforms, so we help them just move on to that website. Some of the ones that you might recognize around here: Idaho Youth Ranch, Salvation Army, Boys and Girls Club, Idaho Food Bank, Interfaith Sanctuary over in Boise. Local, Help Them to Hope in Ontario uses Just Serve. Oasis House, which is the homeless day shelter over in Ontario now. Lots of community schools around the state use it, and lots of food pantries. So one more thing about Just Serve is we have a kind of an initiative, and it's called a Just Serve City. And this is where municipalities that are formally committed to promoting and supporting volunteerism can be recognized for that. A city just has to create a volunteerism proclamation and then sign it and email it into a Just Serve email, and then they send you back kind of a framed plaque that says you've done it. So it's just something kind of cool that helps the people in your community know that this is something that you really value, and they can start to understand how important volunteerism is. We know what it can do for people. We know that when we serve a stranger, that all of a sudden we feel differently. We have a sense of purpose. We can get connected with people who we've never thought that maybe we would meet. It helps us forget our own problems for a while and see that, oh man, you know what, I don't have it quite as bad as I thought I did a little bit ago. And so being a Just Serve City is kind of a worthwhile thing, and something that's really great for communities. Does anybody have any questions for me?
What was that website again for the Just Serve? It's
justserve.org. And it's an app, so you can get it on your phone, or you can just use it on your laptop too, either way. Anything else? Anybody else? If you're interested, we can get you posters for the America 250. It does have a QR code that somebody can just scan to record their hours. It takes them right to IdahoKindness.com. So if that's something that you guys would be interested in, we can have them made for you, or we can just email you a PDF or whatever, and you can print out your own. So
Yeah, they can just go ahead and send them to me.
Okay, perfect. Anything else? Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. So at this time, were we gonna consider becoming a Just Serve City?
Let's get the flyer and everything, and then we'll actually write up a proclamation,
Okay.
kind of like further down in our, yeah.
Okay.
This is Jeremy with Serve Day presentation.
Cody. I'm Jeremy Roberts. I'm here to cover for Becky Anderson. She unfortunately had a family issue she had to leave town for, so she called me up and said, hey, can you go help me out again? Because last year I think I was here. Serve Day. We've been going for 15 years. Weiser really jumped on board this last year alone. It's basically community-minded people trying to help better individuals, the city, anything that values to help better the communities. That's really what it's about. We call it Serve Day. I like to joke that it's Serve Half Day. I found that as long as we're done by 12, 1 o'clock, people can still go golfing in the afternoon. I get a lot more volunteers that way. So we try and make everything about 4-hour blocks of everything we do. Last year alone, we had a record turnout of over 1,800 volunteers in 9 communities with 121 projects, 4 counties, 2 states, which included growing the next generation of our volunteers. Several schools set up half a day of service with their teachers and students and went out and served their community to help better parks, individuals, and I've already got 2 Treasure Valley Community or Classic Academy and Payette, which were kind of rivaling, and I think partially because of living in the news publicity, they're rivaling a little bit to go, how many projects can we get? They're striving, and I love that. So Becky did an amazing job last year. I counted up, I think there was 20 projects in Weiser in the first full year alone. I apologize, I didn't have time to pull all the volunteers, but there was a bunch. We were way over so I'd like to say thank you for you guys supporting that. Because that's a huge deal. I mean, it helps your community, but it also helps trying to create a new generation of kids and people to serve. One of the things I find in what I do is the same people are in a lot of the committees around, and so it's a big deal for me to try and get the younger generations moving forward to accelerate or expand that variety of people. So involved, there's a Better Together board that oversees Serve Day. We send out, and mind you, the 121 projects does not include my evaluators. Every project's evaluated to make sure it fits the need or can be completed safely by our group volunteers. I have people that put all the volunteers, the hundreds, that 1,800 people, they actually plan and categorize. We try and have some kind of continental breakfast at every place, coffee. The material volunteer people, there's countless other hours we don't even count towards that get involved. So it's a huge involvement, but it's awesome. It's awesome to see. It's awesome to grow. Our next Serve Day, I don't know if you noticed the banners are up. It's April 25th. It's always the last Saturday of April. And there's lots of different ways to get involved. We make blankets for angel wings. We have groups and groups of ladies. My mother's 73 years old, and she goes out and makes blankets on that day because it's important to her. I've got people that are little kids. We had a young man that was 12 years old that went to a certain project. They sent him away. He came back. He finished that project. He came back 4 times begging for more work. He also told his mother that she was not allowed to participate because this was his thing. That was huge to us, right? That was awesome, right? That young man came back 4 times because he got that giving feeling in his heart. So we do everything from paint parks, clean up trash, spread bark, clean up yards, trash hauling, painting of homes that are in need of what we can. We've built ramps, we've done a lot of things. So everything we do is all volunteer and it's all donation. We work very hard to try and collect what we can so that we can give back. So basically it's near and dear to my heart. I've been doing it since the beginning. And I kind of slowly worked up to I'm the guy in charge now, but other than that, it's a big deal for communities, and I do appreciate Weiser and Parma last year both jumped on board, and they both had huge successes, so much that both of my, what I call city leads, almost freaked out not realizing how much it was going to grow in such a short time. So I do encourage you, if you have ideas, if you know people, if the community members needs things, get them out there. Our website is serveday.info. You can go on there and volunteer. You can submit a project. It's a great place to put things, and we will evaluate and check them all out. So, are there any questions?
Is there a deadline to get these?
By the end of the month, because it takes me almost, after the end of March,
March 20th.
yeah, it's it's the 31st, but that was a mistype, I didn't catch it. So we will accept them till the end of, and after March 31st, then I have to pick, and I gotta check them to see if we still have, one, the people, two, the time, because it takes us a month to coordinate all of the volunteers, all the people, and as we get to that last month, it's, do we have enough people, do we have enough projects, can we, where are we at and all of that, so we are very careful about making sure. I've done a lot of projects over the years after the fact to make sure they're all completed, so it's a very big deal to make sure that when we commit, we can, that we will. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No, we really want to thank you for putting this together for us.
No, it's more than I do graciously thank you guys for, because we tried for a lot of years to get Weiser kind of going, and it's been very successful in just a year's time, and I really have a hope that we double or triple what we did last year for sure. So if anybody needs anything, feel free to reach out anytime, but thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We need paint.
Mike.
Okay, we can move on. The next item is our police department has received a lower grant, and Chief Cron and Officer Walker, Troy Walker, would like to talk to us about their need for some protective equipment.
Mayor, City Council, Troy Cron, Chief of Police. Just tell them who you are.
Troy Walker, I'm patrolling for the city of Weiser.
Do you have any particular questions, or I could just start talking, we could be here all night?
Go for it.
All right. So what this grant is for is to replace, we call them rifle plates. It's ballistic plates that will stop up to a 30-06 round, not armor piercing. The ballistic plates that we wear, are you wearing yours today?
No.
That we wear daily will stop a 44 magazine handgun. But we live in a rural community with a lot of rifles, so this provides us with some extra security. Also, if we know we're going to a gunfight, this is something that we can throw on over our existing armor, or if we're called out in the event of emergency, guys can grab this carrier, throw it on. And I had Trey bring in, he has bought his own. The plates that are in it are our old plates, and they're expired. They last about 7 years. The new's the same?
Yep, 7 years.
The internal vests that we wear, they last 5, and that's just from manufacturer. Will they still work? Probably, but that's the information that we're given from. If you guys would like to see this, be happy to pass it around, or Trey can show you some of the benefits and the upgrades that we can receive from this.
Please, why don't you show us?
Sure.
I'm fairly sure I can't lift that thing.
That's actually not as heavy as it looks. So, unlike what we have now, frankly, what we have now is plastic buckles, and it was never made for actual use. It was actually made for airsoft back then. It's what we're issued now. So we've made them work since 2014, or about since 2014. We've made them work, but this is just kind of the newest upgrade for them. So this is all in one, right? We have our rifle mags up front, extra pistol mags, kind of an admin pouch where you can put maps of the school, any other businesses in town. And then most importantly, we have our med kit all in one. It's on the back right here, and it's accessible with either hand, one-handed. So right now, kind of what we're running is a big, awful pouch either on the side that's just in the way. So this is just kind of the new adaptation of what local law enforcement's going to, what Secret Service, the military, just stuff like that. This is basically for heavy-duty use instead of airsoft like what we currently have now.
That's your personal vest?
This is mine, yes.
Can I see it?
Absolutely.
What's the weight on that, Trey?
I don't know exactly. It doesn't feel, it's maybe 12 pounds. Yeah, especially full, that's ready to go. So it's all the rifle mags are loaded, pistol mags are loaded, everything's good to go.
And you said you have two pouches that you,
So currently, so not those ones right there. So this is how the new one will be set up. So all the med stuff's back here. The med stuff is currently on the side, on the pouches that all the other patrol guys have. You guys can feel free to pass it
I
down if
watched
you'd
you
like.
lift it, I'm good.
For what it is, it's actually very light. Mike, he was showing you some of the key features on it. We've got extra pistol magazines, the rifle magazines. This is, it's a more secure way to put on our Axon cameras, the body-worn cameras. And do you want to show them how the med kit comes off?
Sure.
So, when you're wearing it, he was telling you could take it off with either hand, which is kind of a huge deal. The way we're set up right now is it's on one side, and it's about impossible to get out if your left hand is damaged or inoperable. Due to the fact that the plate is stiff, and even in the armor that I'm wearing now, it's hard to reach across my own body because it's just hard.
Yeah, it's hard. The mobility isn't as good, especially with these littler ones. They're easier to get into. And then you grab this with one hand, and then you put it down away from your body. And then I can put this right here on this Velcro, and I can get in, and all my med supplies are right here.
The med supplies is an IFAC kit, and it's basically a first aid kit for trauma.
Such as bullet wounds?
Correct, yep.
Yeah, knife wounds, bullet wounds.
So I would maybe tell them a little bit about the cost and why you're bringing it to the council.
So Trey worked with this company, this AGY, or how do you say it?
Agilite.
Agilite.
Yep.
And for, it's 13, for 13 units, it came to a total of $12,474.20, which is actually a pretty good price to begin with. However, that would make a serious dent in our budget. So Trey got with the Lore Foundation, and they granted us $10,000. So we would need to pay the additional $2,474.20.
and you don't currently have that in your budget?
The 2,000? We do. We do, but do you want to explain?
We didn't budget for it, but there is room in their budget to cover the extra cost.
And so because the grant didn't cover the entirety of the project, they're just coming to council to ask for the spending authority to spend the additional money.
So question, what would be, in the last 5 years, how many occasions have you had that something like that would have been beneficial or just helpful for added safety? How many incidents?
Where we would don it and wear it. Well, every time we go to the range, we're starting to wear those more and more. So for range safety, because we have rifles at the range. On calls where we have time to don them, that's really hard to say without looking at the stats. But I would guess several times a year when we have the time to stop, put that on.
So what would be your protocols then if you buy these, but then you say we don't have time to don them? Are you gonna change some policies and protocols to kind of make this part of the process?
Yeah, that's part of the training that we're gonna do. Trey is becoming our new range master, and he's also an instructor for the alerts program. So we're beefing up what we're doing with training with range and how we should respond to these kinds of calls more appropriately.
So updated processes?
Correct.
So what you're saying that 12 12 grand's out of our budget, but we think we can afford 2,500 with the Lore Foundation putting in 10 grand.
Correct.
Is that okay?
And
So
we have been approved by the board.
okay.
I think we also have to make, if we do make a motion, we have to include in that motion to accept the money, the lower money, correct? To accept that grant.
It makes it easier, yes.
Okay.
I have one question. In 7 years, are you gonna have to replace the whole thing, or can you just replace what's inside?
It'll just be the internal plates.
So it'll be cheaper once you have the
Correct.
whole thing?
And these are multi-size, so they'll fit whoever we hire. These are one-stop shop, they'll just replace the internals.
So another question on that, that was a good question. Lore Foundation's gone. Do you have a plan for the cost of that replacement?
Well, we figure for them each year. Next year, these will expire and we'll need to replace the internals, so we'll budget for that as it becomes.
Right, so, but we have Lore for 3 more years, and so I would assume you would utilize that grant for the next 3 years if possible, which I don't know why they would say no, but after that, you've got 4 more years and then you need new plates. So are you gonna cycle budgeting between the personal or the current ones you use and those ones? Like, how would you refund new plates or refinance new plates every 7 years?
We're gonna be on the hook for that.
Right, so do you have, I mean, is that just gonna become a line item in your budget? Like how?
When it comes due, then we're gonna have to do that. We're always gonna look for grants. As for example, next year, they have the feds have a bulletproof vest partnership, which they pay just about 50%, depending on what you get.
So there's options out there,
There are options.
not handicap, okay.
So other than the plates, how long will the rest of it normally last?
Well, it depends on wear and tear and how robust Trey's training program is.
Are the quantities listed on the quote, 1-to-1? You're replacing 1 for 1, basically?
Yes.
Okay. And are they smaller? You said that are they smaller in size? Will you save any storage? I know that was a concern.
They are quite a bit. As far as just material wise,
Yeah.
they do cut a lot about just necessity right here. So the other ones will go out to about here, where this is just the 10 by 12.
Will that save any storage space at the station, do you think? Or how are they stored?
In the
Are they
trunk,
on?
for sure.
They're in
Yeah,
the trunk?
we keep them in the vehicles ready to go.
Okay.
The space saving allows for more mobility for the officer. And then these are more well packed to where they can put more things on, taking up less space.
I would assume too, it'd be like your vehicles, they would just would budget for it on a rotation, is what you're trying to say with the, okay.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, any further questions?
So I just want to make one further point. We're not talking about you're not requesting additional funding here. You're just requesting maybe a little change in the line item that allows for this purchase. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And the acceptance of a board.
And I'm assuming we have enough room on those line items.
Yes.
Okay.
So, to further explain, not every law enforcement agency carries these. The way that we got here is, years ago we had a tactical team. The problem with having a tactical team is you're mandated to higher standards through training, through equipment, that kind of thing. So what we ended up doing was dissolving the tactical team, and now we send every single patrol officer through SWAT school, as well as making Trey an alert instructor. Alert is a program that came out of, I believe, a Christian college in Texas and is now a national accepted tactics program that's taught all over the country. So if pay ed officers come here, or the sheriff's office next door come to help us, or vice versa, we can employ those same kinds of tactics. So we can employ more advanced tactics without inheriting the extra liability. So that's why we've moved to these in addition to a regular concealed desk.
Okay, so, well, I guess if somebody were shooting at me, I'd want to have the best I had, that was available. I mean, that's just the way it is, and I think that's what we want for you and your department as well. Yeah, there's always limitations on budget, but this is not a request for additional funds, just a reworking of the funds to make this purchase.
And thank you for hustling to get the Lord grant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Trade for doing that. That's awesome.
So I would make a motion to accept, approve, and support the acceptance of the LOR grant and the purchase of the vests.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the LOR grant and fund the balance of the cost of the vest. Okay, if there's no other discussion at this time, we'll have a roll call.
Von Brentworth,
Yes.
Finsky,
Yes.
Hoag,
Yes.
Korzen,
Yes.
Schrolik,
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank both of you for
Thank you, guys.
staying up late and coming and presenting to us. Okay. Next on our agenda is to consider and authorize, and I believe Natasha was gonna read that ordinance. Did I skip one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, sure did. Let's go back to number 6 here. I'm getting good at jumping ahead. Consider and authorize the mayor to assign ordinance number 1276, council meeting time adjustment, and again, we'll have Natasha read that ordinance in its entirety.
Weiser City Ordinance Number 1276, an ordinance of the City of Weiser, Washington County, Idaho, amending Title I, Administration, Weiser City Code, Chapter 7, City Council, Section 1-7-3, Meetings, Subsection A, providing for the revised City Council meeting times, providing for severability, and providing that this ordinance be effective upon its passage, approval, and publication according to law. Be it ordained by the Mayor and City Council of the City of Weiser, Idaho, that Weiser City Code entitled 1, Chapter 7, Section 1-7-3, Subsection A be amended to read in its entirety as follows. Section 1, that Title 1, Chapter 7, Section 1-7-3, Subsection A, Weiser City Code is hereby amended to read in its entirety as follows. A, the City Council shall hold regular sessions in the council chambers on the second Monday of each month at the hour of, will now be half after 5 o'clock or 5:30 p.m. All meetings shall be conducted under the latest edition of Robert's Rules of Order, and a copy thereof shall be maintained by the city clerk at all times. Section 2, all previous ordinances, resolutions, order, or parts thereof in conflict within are hereby repealed, rescinded, and annulled. Section 3, if any part of this ordinance shall be held unconstitutional or void, such part shall be deemed severable, and its invalidity shall not affect the remaining parts of this ordinance. Section 4, the city clerk is instructed to immediately forward this ordinance to the codifier of the official municipal code for proper revision of the code. Section 5, this ordinance or summary thereof is in compliance with Section 50-901A Idaho Code shall be published once in the official newspaper of the city and shall take effect and be in force upon its passage, approval, and publication.
Okay, thank you, Natasha. Do we have any debate on this subject?
I have a couple things, Mayor. I guess I would like to ask number one, what the genesis of this proposal is. Whose idea was it? Where did it come from? Why are we making this proposal?
Okay, do you want me to answer?
Sure.
So, I've been asked by several, different people why our meeting time was the time it was. And so I just kind of started doing some research on what other the surrounding areas towns had their, meetings, and found that, several had them, a little bit earlier. And some of the consensus I got from people were that sometimes when people, once they go home, they tend to stay in. They don't tend to come back out for a 7 o'clock meeting. Also, that if we had public hearings that were earlier, there might be more participants in the meetings. So it was kind of just questions that had been asked of me for clarification, or just people coming and giving me their opinion. So, that's kind of how this came about.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna throw my 2 cents in here. I think it's absolutely the wrong thing to do. And the reason is because, number one, on serving on the city council, there's enough of our time that is taken up. If you have a job or you run a business, then most of the time during the week from 8 to 5, you're gonna be busy. If you have to be here, then you have to take time off work, which is a burden on everyone you work with. And sometimes, you're just gonna be unavailable. Although I realize people work at 7 o'clock at night too. I think there's fewer that do that. I can tell you that if we'd been, just personally, before I retired, if we were meeting at 5:30, I wouldn't be on the city council, because it would be too much of a burden for my employer, my coworkers, my clients. The other reason is because the same thing goes for our constituents. Let's take Washington County, for instance. They have public hearings in the middle of the day. And this moves us towards that. And, unless you're retired, you really, you're gonna take the day off to go to a public hearing, or are you gonna take off early from work to go to a public hearing? I think that's just gives everybody a reason to not go. And I appreciate the fact that some have said that an earlier start would be better. I'm just saying I don't agree with that. Robert's Rules of Order. I can tell you we don't even, and this comes from my long tenure at Weiser FFA, so it's been a while, but I can tell you we don't even come close to abiding by Robert's Rules of Order. Take our discussion right now. You can't discuss anything under Robert's Rules of Order unless you have a motion on the floor. You can't have a negative motion. So you couldn't make a motion to not approve this. It has to be a positive motion and a second before you can even discuss it. And really, I would hate to see that. Now, I don't know I was only aware of this a few days ago, so I'm not sure what our alternative is. At one time, I thought I read in our city code it already says that we will abide by Robert's Rules of Order, but we never. I mean, we're not doing that.
It's something,
and I don't think
we're gonna work on.
Absolutely.
We didn't feel like we could do that immediately tonight because we haven't been following to the
right,
T.
but I mean, I think it's going to be I think it will be burdensome.
I disagree with the
us.
time change. I think that's a good thing to do, the time change, because you're right, there's a lot of 8 to 5 and even 9 to 6, but there's also a lot of 7 to 4. So to be at a city council meeting till possibly, depending on the agenda, 9, 10 o'clock at night is also a late night. So that could go either way, but I support it.
I can tell you that it'll be at least, April and May, I won't get here on time. There's just no way I'm gonna be here on time. I'm not opposed to moving the time up, but there's no way I'm gonna be here on time at 5:30. the 2 Mondays in that 2 months. That's just the 2 times.
I was for the time change. I don't know if that, I don't know if putting it to 6 o'clock would make a difference, but we inhibit anyone who's coming to our city council meetings from going to a school board meeting by having ours at 7 o'clock the same time that they do. And so I was for at least moving it to 6 o'clock, if not 5:30, because of that. Yeah. And I know that the fire department has moved theirs to Tuesdays, because they wanted to make sure that they were able to come to ours and we were able to come to theirs. So it made sense to me to move it so that people could attend both city and school board.
Okay, thank you for your input.
I'm retired. These people keep telling me I am. I was tired yesterday, I'm tired again today, so I am retired. But the time has no bearing on me at this point. But I'm sitting here nodding my head based on what I'm hearing from my colleagues here that we need to do something about the time, but is there an amenable time, I guess is what I would suggest. Is there a more amenable time than 7 o'clock that you feel would meet an appropriate time frame? John?
If it was just even 6, I'll be here. But that's just the 2 times. Again, I'm not opposed to moving the time. I just am telling you, there are at least the 2 months that I won't be here on time. I don't know how you feel about me walking in late, but I'm more than willing to.
I'm happy with the time as it is, but I'm working solo here.
Okay, Joe, we haven't heard from you yet.
Well, welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's it coming?
So,
We just threw you under the bus, Joe.
so I had a few questions, which was, have we had any input from the community, the media, and the public, and other staff that need to attend? Do we have any input on that?
It was just brought forth by people who had come to me, and so I brought it before council.
Yeah.
It also does help alleviate some of your guys' either overtime / comp time issues by having it earlier. I don't know if that's a huge consideration or.
I would say it makes a big difference during budget hearings, because those can run on for quite some
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, when we do our budget hearing, there is a meeting, we start earlier.
Right, we started at 6 on the 1. I've had a few other people tell me that 5:30 would be better for like city employees, because we go home, come back. It's not a huge deal, but I have heard that.
I know we all love Facebook. I know that it has been said on Facebook that people don't want to come that late because they have stuff to do, but that's Facebook.
So is this something that we need to table with more input from the public before we make a decision, or are we ready to make a decision tonight?
I'll just add that just personally, pre-food Joe is a different Joe than post-food Joe. So if it means that I don't get dinner, I think it really makes a big difference, I guess, so for me.
Are we also gonna address the Robert's Rules of Order in terms of a plan for implementing that piece?
Again, I think the mayor has been doing his research and trying to get us, really guided by the Robert's Rules of Law or Order. We just didn't feel like with an agenda this big, and tonight would have been a good night to just.
So it's already in.
Yeah.
Our ordinance says that we are to abide by Robert's Rules of Order, and I have 3 books laying on my desk that I've been trying to study and come up to speed on it. We really didn't think tonight that everybody addressing each other as sir, council, all the.
So it's a time really that we're
I think
addressing in this.
Natasha probably was getting ready to say, we probably need a little bit of training to the council so that we can do a proper job of it.
I think a workshop, and we could even partner with planning and zoning and just make it a workshop. Once we do call a meeting and there's a quorum, the public would be able to come as well. So we could even.
Well, and I think we ought to to take a look at, if there are any alternatives. Because Robert's Rules of Order has shortcomings for our proceedings. And I think some horrendous shortcomings.
Did you think we need to take a look at
So,
changing that ordinance?
So let's take, for instance, we said, no, we don't want to do this. We would make a motion, someone would have to make a motion to approve the ordinance. And then, when that didn't pass, then it's over. So we don't have a motion to not approve this. We have a motion to approve it that fails.
So we can
So
fail.
is that, I mean, that's a huge change for
You can fail by not getting a second or being voted down.
Right,
And then after the second motion, that's when we would have the
right,
discussion.
and then, so, let's take another example. So, we're talking about, is 5:30 the right time? So, someone would have to make a motion that we change the 5:30 to 6. Then we have to vote on the amendment to the motion, and then we vote on the motion. Where today, we just discuss it and say, hey, maybe 7 doesn't work, maybe 5:30 doesn't work, we're okay with 6, and we carry forward. That's going to be the difference in our procedure if we adopt, or if we abide by our current, what it says currently in our city code, and what this basically reiterates is that we're going to abide by that. And it will be a learning curve for all of us, because it's, like I said, it's been 50 years for me. And it's not easy.
Nope, I agree with that. So what is your desire? Would you like to table this entire item until we get a chance to review from the public on time, and then I guess we need to, right now the ordinance says that we are to use Robert's rules,
Right.
so.
Do we have a public? do we have to do a public
So do
hearing?
we have a committee that would be appropriate to assign it to for more review?
Which committee are you on?
One of those that please, yeah. So you stir the pot, you get on the committee, right? Yeah, that's right. Will. Yeah. I guess that would be my preference, is to have a committee look at it, and have our committee look at it, and
Well, where this would affect the zoning committee, I'm wondering if it shouldn't go through our zoning committee.
How did it affect our zoning?
So I would make a motion to accept to approve a time change to amend the start time of the current city council meetings with the caveat of review of this ordinance 1276 for additional research and training.
Of Robert's Rules of Order.
Robert's Rules of Order.
I'm gonna second that.
Okay, so I would like to have you repeat that so everybody understands.
Word for word.
I'm supposed to, by Robert's rules, I'm supposed to repeat it, but I think I'd like to have you repeat that.
So I would make a motion to approve the city ordinance number 1276 to amend the city council's start times pending, I would have to say pending review for an exact start time. And the caveat of further review, research, and training on Robert's Rules of Order.
So would you accept kind of a change to that to refer it to a committee so they can make a final recommendations,
Yes.
including that
Yes.
training, and then reconsider it?
I would amend that to include referring this to committee for review on the start time.
I have a
Okay,
question based on that, but before I can vote. Does that mean we are going to stay with Robert Rules of Order?
That's part of the
Yeah, that's what you're
current
saying.
motion to
Okay.
go to committee for
Okay,
research.
making sure.
okay, so does everybody understand the motion and the second?
Not for sure.
We won't have you repeat it. You've done well.
So,
It's recorded.
Okay, further debate on the,
okay, so what, is it what we're saying is that we're approving the 5:30 time? And,
No.
so we're just all reviewing, so proper thing would be to, and Mayor, you can pick a committee or you can appoint one, to table this, to have a committee review it, to include a recommendation for community input.
There's a motion on the
training.
floor.
yeah, we have a motion on the
exists.
floor
And second.
already, so.
My problem with it is that
Yeah.
And it's already been included to send it to committee to review and research.
I know it's that time yet.
Yes.
So it basically, and I guess.
I guess I'm gonna have no offense, I think we're kind of talking the same thing, but I'm not gonna vote
Right, not
for
table it.
that motion. I'm gonna prefer to table it and refer it to a committee rather than say we approve it pending on something.
But at this point, we do have a motion and a second. So any further debate? Does anybody want any more clarification on what we're voting on?
We all agree we wouldn't mind changing the time for the most part. We just have not specifically said.
Okay, so we are gonna go with a roll call vote. Natasha?
Corzine,
Yes.
Vaughn,
No.
Hoag,
No.
Von Brethorst,
Yes.
Schroller,
No.
Fensky.
Yes.
Okay, so was that 4-2?
3-3.
3-3.
You're the deciding vote.
You're the guy.
That's why you get the big bucks.
That's right.
I'm gonna go ahead and vote that we go along with the motion, just to get this moving as to what we wanna do, I think. So my vote is yes.
Okay.
Okay, now we can move on to number 7, which is consider and authorize the mayor to sign ordinance 1277, update to the fried foods permit link. And
So-
Natasha's gonna read that in full.
So this is just an update to the existing ordinance. The old ordinance for the fried foods permit, it said that we reviewed it and redid the permit every 5 years. We actually do it yearly. So in our ordinance, it said 5 years, so we've been doing one, so we just needed to update the ordinance. I didn't think January was the first month to put that on you guys.
Thank you.
So, Weiser City Ordinance 1277, an ordinance of the City of Weiser, Washington County, Idaho, amending Title 7, Health and Sanitation, Weiser City Code, Chapter 6, Industrial Wastewater Regulations, Section 7-6-6, Administration, Subsection B1, Wastewater Permit Contents, providing for the maximum duration of 1 year for wastewater discharge permits, and providing that this ordinance be effective upon its passage, approval, and publication according to law. Be it ordained by the Mayor and City Council of the City of Weiser, Idaho, that Weiser City Code, Title 7, Chapter 8, Section 7-6-6, Substation B1 be amended to read in its entirety as follows. Section 1, Title 7, Chapter 6, Section 7-6-6, Subsection B1, Weiser City Code is hereby amended to read in its entirety as follows. 1. Wastewater permit contents. Wastewater discharge permits must contain the following conditions. A statement that indicates wastewater discharge permit duration, which in no event shall exceed 1 year. With significant industrial user, discharge permit will indicate a specific date upon which it will expire. B, a statement that the wastewater discharge permit is non-transferable without prior notification to and approval from the superintendent and provisions for furnishing the new owner or operator with a copy of the existing wastewater discharge permit. C, applicable pre-treatment standards and requirements, including any special state requirements. D, self-monitoring, sampling, reporting, notification, submittal of technical reports, compliance schedules, and record-keeping requirements. These requirements shall include an identification of pollutants to be monitored, sampling location, sampling frequency, and sample type based on federal, state, and local law. E, requirement to notify the city immediately of all discharge that could cause problems to the POTW, including any sludge loading as defined in section 7-6-3 of this chapter. F, requirement for immediate notification to the POTW where self-monitoring results indicate non-compliance. G, requirement to report a bypass or upset of a pretreatment facility. H, requirement for the SIU to report non-compliance to repeat the sampling and analysis and submit to the POTW, keep wanting to say POW, within 30 days after becoming aware of the violation. I, a statement of applicable civil, criminal, and administrative penalties for violations of pretreatment standards and requirements and in any applicable compliance schedule. Section 2, all previous ordinances, resolutions, orders, or parts thereof in conflict herewith are hereby repealed, rescinded, and annulled. Section 3, if any part of this ordinance shall be held unconstitutional or void, such part shall be deemed severable, and invalidity shall not affect the remaining parts of this ordinance. Section 4, the city clerk is instructed to immediately forward this ordinance to the codifier of the official municipal code for proper revision of the code. Section 5, this ordinance or summary thereof in compliance with section 50-901A Idaho Code shall be published once in the official newspaper of the city and shall take effect on and be in force upon its passage, approval, and publication.
Okay, any discussion?
I just say this makes sense because it makes more sense to review those permits annually, like we're actually doing.
Right.
I agree.
And you're on that committee, actually. So. Yeah.
Do we have to say the name of the ordinance?
So, yeah, you'll just make a motion to approve and then also say that, you'll suspend the reading and have it read by title only.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 1277.
I move to sign ordinance 1277, updating our fried foods permit length to 1 year, and suspend reading the whole thing again and referring to it by title only. How'd I do?
Great.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Does everybody understand the motion? Okay.
Not saying it again.
Any further discussion? If there's no further discussion, that means the question has been called for. Being there's no money involved, I believe we can have a verbal. All those in favor signify with an
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Then I'll just read it by title only. Weiser City Ordinance number 12-77, an ordinance of the City of Weiser, Washington County, Idaho, amending Title 7, Health and Sanitation, Weiser City Code, Chapter 6, Industrial Wastewater Regulations, Section 7-6-6, Administration, Subsection B1, Wastewater Treatment Contents, providing for the maximum duration of 1 year for the wastewater discharge permits, and providing that this ordinance be effective upon its passage, approval, and publication according to law.
Thank you. Okay, due to some changes being made in the front office, it has become apparent that we need to add Brianna Cheney for the ACH signature card.
So just for
Do we need to
clarification,
vote on that again? On the,
Oh,
on the ordinance? Or are we
did
good?
you, after you read it,
sure,
okay,
It's not gonna hurt.
what won't hurt it?
okay.
Somebody make a motion.
I move to approve as read.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve as read. That's ordinance 1277. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same side. Motion carries. Okay, now we'll move on to number 8. Consider adding Brianna Cheney for the ACH signatures card. As I was saying, we're making a few changes in the office, and we feel that it would be time to add her to the signature card.
So just for clarification, the motion would just need to approve Brianna Cheney as a signator on all accounts.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve Brianna Cheney as being on the ACH signature card
For all accounts.
for all accounts.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion?
I don't know if I can vote until I know what the ACH signature card is. There we go.
So it's
Okay.
basically just being a signer on the account.
Okay, perfect.
Any bank account or.
Now I can
account.
vote.
Thank you, John. Let's have a roll call on that one.
Penske,
Yes.
Froelich,
Yes.
Von Brethorst,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Hoag,
Yes.
Corson.
Yes.
It's getting late, we have to get a little harder. Motion carries.
Make sure we wait.
Wake people up.
Okay, number 9, consider and authorize the mayor to sign resolution number 707. It's the Washington County's national collaboration. And I think we started to touch on that a little bit on number 4, right?
Yes, so what this is there was an individual out of, I believe, Arkansas that wanted to do something for America 250. And so he started doing some research and realized that there was quite a few,
Hurdles? Hurdles.
well, they're not all counties, but cities or towns or counties that did take on the Washington name from President George Washington. And so he started the idea that he was going to reach out to, I believe there was 31 places that had Washington in their name, and reach out to them and see if he could do America 250 quilt. So he reached out to everyone, and I believe 23 have actually decided to participate. And so what he requested was just a quilt square that represented Washington County, Weiser, and or other places. And so what that did is everybody decided to turn those in. They will be made into one big quilt, and then it'll turn into a traveling quilt. Where throughout America 250, it will go to different places. We've requested to have it during Fiddle Week, to have it in our Fiddle Parade. So this is just kind of a letter showing our support for his project, his what he's put together for America 250.
And we have some pretty neat artwork already.
Mm-hmm. So this is basically just a support letter in his collaboration of Washington counties across the nation.
Okay. Do we need a motion to support?
Yep, we need a motion for you
Mayor.
to authorize the mayor to sign.
Oh, yep.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution 707 as written here and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or debate?
Are there any commitments that this requires from us?
No.
It's just
No.
nice.
Yep, just a resolution of support.
Any other questions, debate?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
If not, all those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Okay, next on our agenda is to consider the sewer main estimate, and I think in your packet, you've all seen the bids that we have on that. And Mike would like to talk to us about it.
Yes, so, a few weeks back, we were jetting a line between Hanthorn and Butterfield, 2nd and 3rd in the alley. And we had a jetter nozzle get stuck. We had to excavate it out of the way to get to the pipe. And upon inspection, the current pipe has some damage, and we like to call it roller coaster. It's got a lot of dips and bellies in it, so it is definitely needing replaced. Hopefully sooner or later, we have the materials. This would be for the excavation and installation of the taps to the homes and the sewer main itself, and then our guys will obviously help with this significantly. That's how we got the cost down on it. As you can see, Warranty Construction came in with the lowest estimate, and we have worked with them several times in the past. And
we have good experience with
we do
them.
have a very good report. Actually, with all of them, this one was the lowest, and we also have a good relationship with them. So I would ask to approve this so we can move on this sewer line.
Any questions or comments?
Kurt mentioned last month in the audit review that this was an area that we needed to be mindful of.
We do
Did we
have
know
the
about
room,
that then?
we do have the room in the project budget for this. We do budget some extra room in there for projects like this because they do come up. So it is budgeted for this year, but you're absolutely right. The sewer department, there's several lines like this that we need to look at for the future.
Okay.
What's the potential issue that it could cause to the homeowners when you hook it back up?
If anything, it would make it less chances of backups at this point because it's what we call surcharging into the manhole every now and then, which the manhole fills, the pressure pushes it through, which is working now, but we don't know how long. You know, that's one of those things. We actually was jetting it because we were having an issue, so.
So could that manhole actually run over into the street?
It would back up and, well, yes, it could. Yes, absolutely. On the southern side of it, it definitely could.
And the age of the, oh, sorry.
It's the north side that's pressurized, so it'd more likely go into a house, toilet back
She's
up.
just making sure it's not on her side of town.
Oh. Well, it's 2 blocks from you. It's on the east second between, it's between East 2nd and 3rd, Hanthorn and Butterfield. It's right by the pool.
Okay, that's why I was confused. It says Hawthorne, so I was confused.
Yeah.
It's Hanthorn. It's right there. It'd be the alley south of the pool.
Okay.
Oh, it does.
Well, that's close to enough.
Are there any risks that you could see it escalating into a change order that we need more?
Not, anytime you're digging up, 70, 80-year-old pipe, there is always that chance, but at this time we don't. We've spoke with the gas company, had them move their main line that was on top of us because they were buried directly above it. So they've already come in and removed that line after we had to excavate ours and get around it. So at this, I don't want to say never, especially when we're opening old pipe and ground.
Well, that's part of my question. So if you're hooking it up into existing homeowners that's 70 or 80 years old, is there much risk or liability if there's an issue with that connection into that homeowner's?
No, because we'll replace their actual connection while we're there to the main,
okay.
and then it depends on how it's clocked on the pipe, on how far we can go up. Usually it's about 2 feet, sometimes a little more. Like I said, that all depends on how it sits in the clock position in the ground, to how far we go up.
Okay.
We would obviously contact them if there was
Wow.
issues with their line while we're there. It'd be a lot better way to take care of it. And the taps all looked in pretty fair shape, what we could see with the camera, with our new, we have that new camera, but we could only do one side where after it got stuck, we didn't want to try to come back from the other way and get it stuck also. So
Thank you.
there is always a
Well,
risk.
Right.
I don't ever want to say that. Anytime you dig in the ground and nobody's dug there for a long time.
Yeah.
I do have to say that the gas company just dug, 40 inches deep through there and didn't find any too big surprises. And we're only going to 2 feet
Just because
below.
there's still a lot of lines that are clay.
There is a lot of orange bird acing in the city.
This is all alley access, this is all
This
excavated in
is,
the alley.
yep.
Will it interrupt other services like trash?
No, we'll move if it's going to take too long. I don't suspect it to take very long. If it does, we'll move the trash cans out to the street side. That's how we did the last one over here, and give the homeowners directions. We'll send out flyers or knock on doors and speak to everybody before we do it. They won't be able to use the alley. Yeah, it was okay through the gas was in there for a week and there wasn't any issues. There was somebody that got the car blocked in, but we got him out.
Okay, we have any, those are all good questions, by the way. We have any other comments or discussion?
So, so staff doesn't have any preference in a contractor, because these are fairly close.
Not particularly, no. We just the one that was the least is favored as much as the others, so we just thought we'd go with that one. And
Okay.
like I said, we have done quite a bit of work with him in the past.
Okay. I'd move to accept the bid of Warrington Construction
In the amount
in the amount of, I'm printing this, too small, $37,636.
I'd second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further debate or questions on the motion? The motion, as I heard it, was to allow Warrington Irrigation to complete this sewer main for us in the cost of $37,630. $636, okay. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Froelich,
Yes.
Corzine,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Fensky,
Yes,
Von Bretthorst,
Yes.
Hope.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries. Thank you for the
In about a month.
so much for munchies and crunchies.
We're a bit behind on replacing that.
It's been quite a significant amount of time on that exhaust fan.
Yeah, if you've never been in the evidence room, you need to make an appointment with the chief and go visit.
I'm not.
Okay, item number 13 is to consider the Text My Gov. And we had quite a discussion on this today, just because I needed a lot of questions answered. I'll let Natasha explain what Text My Gov does, and then I'm sure you're gonna have some questions. But
So, to save time, I'm just gonna kind of go over just what it is, and then I'll have you guys ask questions instead of doing a whole presentation. So Text My Gov is what a lot of local companies are using to basically be able to communicate with their community. Right now, we have door tags and Facebook, and that's the only real way we have to get mass messages out to our customers. So what Text My Gov does is they're web-based software. They connect with a local number, whether that be a landline or a cell phone. They can do Facebook integration. They can do translation. They have unlimited users, unlimited department, unlimited support for every user. So basically, they're going to replace a sewer line in your backyard. We don't need to go out to everybody. We have an isolated few. We bring up on the map. We have everybody who's going to be involved. We draw a circle around it, and a text message is gone out to those individuals. It can be a pre-recorded telephone call. It can be a text message, and it goes out to just them. We could send out reminders that, hey, we're doing the 4th of July celebration at City Park or Memorial Park for America 250. We can send out billing reminders. We can send out meeting reminders. And it's a way to reach all of our customers with basically the touch of a finger. So that being the overview, I'll just let you guys. Another key fact is we can attach like instant messages. So if somebody wants to go in the Text My Gov and say like they have a question about garbage, then it will automatically take them to our garbage site on our website and say like, take them to the garbage map or take them, so we can preload a bunch of interactive questions that kind of field where their questions are going. There's a ton of different things it'll do, so I'll just kind of let you guys ask.
And who's gonna field all these questions?
So they're being fielded right now by the clerks that work in the office.
Is it AI?
I would almost think at some point they would have to be some sort of AI.
Based on the preload of information,
Yeah.
the system will
Send them to what-
identify.
And they
what
will
needs to
actually
go.
build in the background, like, so to answer that question, if we were to say garbage and have an issue with garbage, then it would integrate with our website. And so they would work it in the background where it's gonna take, 3 to 5 months to get this all set up to like all the whatever questions. And so,
So it would pull information from the website to answer the person's call without taking up the time of the clerks in the office.
yes. And I mean, because a lot of what we field in the office is, where do I find it on your website? I'll just ask it and it goes. But it does integrate right with our website. So we sit down and field, I don't know, when there's an outage, even in an area, I'm not gonna exaggerate, 1,000 to 1,500 calls within an hour. And we would be able to isolate an area, send out a mass text to the entire town, hey, we've isolated the area, everybody else will be back on in an hour, and then this generalized location, we've isolated the problem, it might be an hour and a half before you're back on. But we could
Or
really,
Facebook.
So
we could have an instant message put out on Facebook. Yeah.
this summer, we're scheduled to do quite a bit of chip sealing. And when we chip seal, every vehicle has to be off the street because every weed has to be burned, every crack has to be filled before we can chip seal. And we see this as a pretty good tool. The police department, the street department are gonna be very busy getting these vehicles moved, but with this tool, we can at least notify some of them and get some of the vehicles moved in advance, so. That and plowing snow, there's just a lot of times when we need vehicles moved, and we're really hoping that if we adopt this program, that will be a big tool.
I would make a motion to adopt TextMyGov and deploy the program.
Have we checked with other cities that have this program?
Bree and I actually went on several different websites, and the ones it's on, it looks like it's utilized quite a bit.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. No.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to accept
TextMyGov.
TextMyGov.
We have budget money to do this too.
We have figured that side out of that, because this can be separated between every department that could utilize it.
Well, that's a
So
great question.
it'll be a lot smaller amount per department, so it won't be just one large lump out of one department. It'll be, the first initial one should be about 1,740 out of the 5 departments I know of that for a fact that will use it, and that may even be less if we can integrate it into other places.
Okay.
As an IT professional, I have lots of questions and concerns, but I'll wait for a second.
Okay, so, I can see the benefit to this. I can also see old codgers like me saying, what, did I move to Los Angeles now? And blocking it. Yeah, so I would feel better about it if rather than a blank check, to reserve some oversight from the city council, from a committee for the implementation of it. Because I'm assuming we can do part of this or all of this, or whatever we want. And I think I would like us to have some input on that. On that part, but rather than just saying, yes, let's do it, I would like to be in on or would like the council to be in on that implementation, making the decisions on what we're actually going to do and send out, or the types of things.
With my current global company, we use a program like that. So I wasn't just blanket making that motion. I'm familiar with it, and it's phenomenal. I was part of the QA team that worked through the entire program, asked it questions, kind of did that process, and it's phenomenal because it references pre-built information based on the website or information that the current staff will deploy in there. And it is a portion of AI that automatically is built to generate that, which saves, I would imagine if you did the research on the labor cost, that it would save staffing in answering those phone calls and repeated questions, would more than pay for that product.
Well, good. Your experience will be great on that committee then.
Sure, yeah.
What is our contract? Is it yearly renewable?
So, so this is a 3-year term. After the initial 3 years, the agreement will revert to a year-to-year contract. Cancellation requires a 60-day written notice. Basically, we're asking for the startup fee. I agree with Larry that maybe there be a committee of what we actually utilize it for. Maybe we don't utilize it for some things that it's capable of. What we're asking for is, or what's being proposed, I should say, not asking for, is just the core setup. And again, that's gonna take time. So it's the setup fee is the $2,900. The total reoccurring is the $5,800 annually. So the first year total would be the $8,700.
And I'd be happy to volunteer time, Natasha, to come down and help input data and testing.
And we have most people's cell phone numbers already because applications for sewer, water, power.
Utilities in general, yes.
We generate that information, so that.
So I guess I would make a motion to amend or do we have a second for it, by the way?
Not yet,
Okay.
unless Joe did.
No. Okay, so we have a motion without a second at this point.
So it's either gonna.
Well, he hasn't even started with the questions and he's the
Yeah,
pro.
it's
So
gonna
I'm
be
waiting.
seconded or
I'm waiting.
killed.
Well, I'll go out of turn then. As far as discussing, it sounds like this is a two-way. People can text back and also receive information from us, correct? I think my concerns are with the texting back or receiving information from the public. And are we considering tying people's utility bills into this system, or is there any financial that type of stuff that would be included? Okay.
No, so all of our, when it comes to your utility bill, we use another outsourced company, Invoice Cloud, to do all the billing and where you can go online and pay your bill. So this would not be tied to your utility bill in any way. The
So
only
I
thing
couldn't
it would
ask it for Mike's bill and it give me what it is.
absolutely not.
Okay.
The only thing it could ask for, yeah, we're gonna pay it. No,
Okay.
the only thing it can ask for is what we have predetermined that we want those short answers to be. You wouldn't be able to ask it anything that was not public knowledge.
Okay.
So whether you ask this or you go on our website and you search and you find it, the information's out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have we considered kind of an abuse of the system if somebody's potentially not happy with us and would like to boost us past those 50,000 text messages? Is there any safeguards that would prevent somebody from harming us in this way?
I think there's a block. I can't answer that 100% honestly right now.
Okay.
I don't know that for sure.
What about data retention? How long would messages be stored and where are they stored? Are they public record or do we own them or does the company?
Probably the company,
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
cloud-based.
cloud-based.
Probably part of that QA process.
Yeah.
There's gonna be so it's a 3-year contract. After 1 year, they're gonna review because the idea is it's constantly updating the information. So as we change policies, procedures, or offerings, that data is updated and transitions data.
I guess my next question is if the system returns something incorrect somehow, who is liable? Would it be the city or the vendor?
I believe it'd be the city because the city is only giving the vendor the information that it wants to have.
Okay.
So the city ultimately would be, so that's where it's not gonna just be, hey, answer this question and answer this question and answer this question. It's gonna have to take working with the company to build honest and, forthcoming answers.
Yeah.
So
So like
ultimately
for every topic, So the electric bill, staff is going to reference the website and current data, enter that data, and that's what's gonna get processed. It's not gonna be random.
It won't be
Data.
AI in the background answering questions.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a text rate? Some people have a limited number of texts they can receive and send. I know that's rare in this day and age, but it is possible. Would we have an opt-in and opt-out system for residents
Yep.
who might have that? Okay.
Mhm.
We would actually hope people, if we go with this, that people would play with it a little bit and get familiar with it in advance before winter comes or before we start redoing streets, so people are comfortable with it.
Yeah. Okay. That's kind of my questions.
Okay, so we do have a motion on the floor at this point.
We still have a motion on the floor.
Do we have a second?
I would second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept our proposal on the text.my.gov. Any further question as to what the motion is, or?
Yeah, so what we're approving now is just 5,800, or is that what it is, 58?
Yeah.
Run down to the, approve 8,700 to get it set up?
Yes.
And the first year?
Yep.
I want to amend the motion to add the phrase implementation to be monitored by our city utilities committee and the city council.
So you want to amend?
Amend the motion?
Motion?
So I would make an amended motion to approve the text.my.gov program in the amount of $8,700 to be overseen by the utilities committee of the city council.
Good.
Second that.
Okay, so we have amended the motion and the second. Is there any further discussion?
This is, I guess what this says on text.my.gov proposal is a 3-year term. We're only approving a 1 year.
No.
Is that what?
No.
No, we're approving the terms as is. That being said, with the cancellation, we could cancel within the 30 days or 60 days with written notice. So it would be for the terms that are set forth in the package with the 3-year terms, and then it going to revert to a year-to-year after the 3-year term.
So there is a 60-day test drive, technically.
After we pay.
Technically.
We won't be set up in 60
When I think
days.
you
Well,
can,
that's after setup.
you
I'm
can
assuming.
cancel within 60 days of written notice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
I
great
understand.
questions. Is there any further comments or debate? If not, roll call please.
Hoag,
Yes.
Von Brethorst,
Yes.
Fensky,
Yes.
Vaughn,
No.
Corzen,
Yes.
Schrolik.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Okay, number 14 is consider movies in the park and digitalization of records through a lower grant.
And so again, I'll keep this as short as long as you want. So this, so to accept the lower grants, we decided to just kind of bring the grants to the council prior to being awarded them, to see if it's grants that the council is interested in going out for. So this is kind of a 2-part thing. Consider movies in the park. When Lena and Mayor Hibbard went to, I think it was the Blue Cross, and they did the town survey of what the town wanted to see for community. That's how we got the covered area at the park and things like that. Another want or desire from the public was movies in the park. So the Lore Foundation is all about bringing our community together. So I'm asking for basically permission to proceed with a grant for movies in the park. The other portion of it is the digitalization of records. So this would be, so right now, if you came in and asked me for a resolution 521, I have to go back in the vault and dig through boxes and figure out what box it's in. Okay, no, this is archived, so I have to go back in this box. Or if you want to know a resolution or an ordinance for something, I have to go in the vault and I have to dig through paperwork and papers. So this is just a request to have the digitalization of the city's records with a grant from the Lore Foundation to be able to digitalize all of our records. So a lot of cities have done this, and you just go on the website and you look up ordinance 1259 and it just comes up. Or you could go to resolutions, you can go to public hearings, you can go to agendas, council minutes, planning and zoning minutes. It's really any records that can be requested by a public records request already ready for the public. So an example I gave earlier is right now, when a public records request is requested from the city, they have X amount of time to fulfill that request. If they cannot immediately fill that, then they have to contact the person and say, this is why I can't give it to you in this amount of time I need, and then you have another extended period of time. So in all of that, if somebody's gone, if there's only one person doing records requests and you miss that opportunity in the 72 hours you have, now that becomes a legal issue. So anything that can be requested by the public that we can already provide for the public, it just takes a lot of, it's easier for the public to find stuff, and it's easier on the municipality to just have it already provided.
Are these two separate grants or just one grant that covers both?
Two separate grants.
And do you have a company lined up to do the digitization of the records at this point, or?
So we're looking into a two-part thing. Also that goes along with the digitalization is, I don't know if you guys are aware that by the end of 2027, the city has to have its website completely ADA compliant. That means if I'm blind, dyslexic, colorblind, deaf, I have to be able to utilize the website just like anybody else. And so the digitalization portion of it would also work with the company. I don't want to say names because we're still researching into it. But we have to have our website compliant, so we would just partner with making our website compliant with said company, and then partner with a digitalization, and then integrate them both together. So it's actually a three-part, but the whole digitalization is going to incorporate making our website ADA compliant.
And what's this value of the grant that they're offering? Do you know?
For the digitalization, to the tune of $1,250.
That's all?
Sorry, $12,500. As soon as I said it, I was like, wait a minute. Yep. And then movies in the park, I mean, I think we could go as big or as small as we wanted. I mean, we've done a lot of research into it, and you can do some pretty cool things.
Look at some blow-up screens that are blow them up, and the movie's over, you unplug the blower, and the screen collapses. So they've done a lot of research.
Will they be able to get Larry and I the kind of movies we want, though?
Have a page available.
So you have closed captioning so I can read it?
Why, sure.
Okay.
So you can show any movie in any way that you could show on a projector.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would just, and if you wanted to separate the motions, you could, or just that I move forward with, moving forward with these grants.
I would move that you move forward both grants.
1 second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to move forward with both grants. Any further discussion? If not, we call for a roll call.
Hoag.
Yes.
Von Bretthorst. Yes. Fensky.
Yes?
Vaughn.
Yes.
Korzen.
Yes.
Schroller.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried.
All right.
And so now somebody wants to read their little card.
I move that we,
Sorry, I guess I should have looked in there to see what the next item was.
Okay, the next item is number 15 is go into executive session, consider preliminary negotiation, communications with legal counsel pending litigation.
so I move we go into executive session under Idaho Code 74-2061 E and F to consider preliminary negotiations, communications with legal counsel pending litigation.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to go into executive session. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. I think